Well, I want to start by saying I'm very hopeful, I'm very confident of what you don't do na office because I believe say when president they elect them, people and get lots of aspiration and see them we also talk say in for doing the manifesto. But 4 years down the line, we very confident of what we don't do. But then today I go and discuss we achievements in 4 years broadly around three issues or three contexts or three areas. Firstly, I go on to talk about what's going to be the thrust of this new direction government. We get for include human capital development, we presidents we always don't talk about. Secondly, I also want to talk about say despite the human capital development, we include the health, education, and agriculture. We also don't do plenty gains that we don't make in other sectors. For instance, the fight against corruption, foreign relations, part sports, part the private sector investment, legislative reforms, gender empowerment, protection of women, peace consolidation. And then the last part we want to discuss now, we look at what be the then challenges that we don't get. So no say definitely we get the economy gets some challenges. We also get challenges with access to energy and all that. And then. So I want to discuss within then three parameters in there. But finally we put a context into the thing there. So I'll go and lay two premises. Firstly, in February 2018, when President Bill launched the SAP Manifesto in Apotloko, now it be launched on a simple principle in economics we then call ceteris paribus. We mean say all other things there for remain constant and unchanged. That means say all the factors and the variables them identified in the way we launch the manifesto, the aspiration that we get. We'll not forget anything that we don't change, we go affect it for deliver. So, for instance, from 2018 to 2022, two fundamental things don't change in the world. So, in the first place, we get COVID-19, we come. And after COVID-19, we also don't get the war between Russia and Ukraine. So, then two factors there don't fundamentally change what's not happen with the government from when they start and to who's they now. And because of the factors there, then so important that it not only affects Salon, it also affects other countries around the world. So, for instance, in the United States of America, inflation, where the cost of living, it don't go up for the past time we don't get that 40 years high inflation. That don't happen at the US. In the UK, we also don't observe back say, as I talk to you now, just last month, UK inflation back don't go up to a 30 high. In Canada, the inflation back don't go to a 30 high. But you know, only stop there. They also don't affect other African countries then because of COVID-19 and the war in Ukraine and Russia. African countries, then, for instance, just a couple of weeks ago in Tanzania, in Kenya, they see long queues them, just like waiting Zimbabwe alone about fuel shortage. In fact, in South Africa, then go to them call the South Africa Reserve Bank when they do last month, then do what them call they raise the lending rates by 25% basis. But what's important now, what they say in the policy document where they raise the lending, then say global producer price and food price inflation continue to surprise higher in recent months and could do so again, particularly if the war in Ukraine persists into the growing season. So it means say what they talk about now that then two important things there, COVID-19 and the war in Ukraine and Russia don't fundamentally don't affect the governance of countries around the world, also dominant Salon. Now, the second thing that is, President Bio also don't say that when we launch the manifesto, now a social contract between he and the people of this country. And he believe in that. And because he believe in that, he don't try for do many things them for discharge that contract. But what's that happen, Dija and Musa? In every contract, they can get what them call say there are sometimes we can be affected by unforeseen events. So we as lawyers that we can call it the principle of frustration. Now, this simply means say when you enter into contract with somebody, in that contract where you enter, if any events happen where una no really where unforeseen, where radically different from what you contemplate, that means say it will also affect either how you discharge the contract or waiting for happen to the responsibility or obligation people get. So it means say again, the COVID-19 and the war in Ukraine and Russia also don't frustrate the social contract with presidents now get with the people. So let's put on practical sense. Let's say somebody go to you now you store na Kiyama Road, lush skin care, and this person go order 4 products. So the first product, for instance, he go order clay mask, he go also go order cleansing water, he also go order medicated fade cream, and one last one when Aqua 4 healing ointment. Yeah. Then till we go order, he don't pay you the money, Dija. The money we don't pay you, you don't promise and say in 5 weeks time, you products them there for cancer loan. Now what's happen? Them products there, them 4 products there, they come on at different parts of the world. So now we assume say the clay mask, they come out, for instance, na India, the fade cream and the cleansing water, they come on at Germany, and the Aqua 4 ointment, they come on at UK. Now within these 5 weeks, they don't deliver to you the clay mask, they don't deliver to you the cleansing water, they also don't deliver to you the fade cream. But unfortunately, this Aqua 4 ointment, where this person also wants, at week 4, now in the store na UK call you and tell you, say, hey, this factory where they produce this Aqua 4, it don't burn. Now, this customer don't come to you after 5 weeks because they wasn't collecting items. You, where they sell, you don't get this woman in fade cream, you don't get her in clay mask, you don't get her in cleansing water. But this one item, you tell her and say, hey, madam, this item here, this store, this factory in the UK, it burn. So it never come within these 5 weeks. But then you tell the woman, say, even though the product not carry it, I go give you thing them back where you know order for in this contract, just for good customer service. So you give the woman nail polish, you give the woman cleansing brush, you give her scented candles. So that one they were called so they won't be there for waiting on agree say on for come with you. What do you think say this woman go do? This woman go say, Khadija, you don't do very, very well. And because out of the 4 things where you are order, 3 don't come, 1 not come, and also because of good customer service, still they will not be there for this contract. You also don't give me as extra. I give you other 5 weeks. And the other 5 weeks they want to give you, now for better products they come. So it's essentially what we don't do for this manifesto. All yeah? Right. We promise beaucoup things them. But we don't deliver substantially per way to promise. And there are things them back where we don't deliver, we don't even promise for this manifesto. And then see them back, for instance, the MCC will pass. We talk about, say, for instance, now on Alunge, they try for do a new airport, you know, beaucoup things the way we not promise, we don't deliver. So I think say people and go for say, hey, we not try, and therefore make we go now more time. But then I go get chance from my contact into details about human capital development.
We go come there. You don't take almost 10 minutes. They lay you premise. As to waiting President be able for achieving 4 years. But that premise the way you don't lay somebody go say nothing the way they na pen and paper. Let we can out to the practical things them, especially the one the way visible for make the people them way President be go and ask say for give them another time for continue for rule the country go able for see them say this now some of the evidences we go make we vote for President Bio. You start for talk about the president being get a social contract to the citizen them. We mean say the President Bio been promised say if una vote for me, I go give una some of the basic things them, for example, clean water, light, and make condition of living very favorable for Sierra Leone and them. Then 3 basic things there I don't mention. Me and you dey salon, uno say for a while now, and things the way people they grumble with. For example, the blackouts where people in the grumble for now, water where people in the grumble for, and the condition of living in the area. Then they what do you go say? Now tangible evidence them where they all over the faces of people. Let's say presidents will achieve the inside 4 years.
Well, like I say, well, I don't let me premise them. I want to discuss them achievements within 3 contexts. I tell you, say the first thing that be what we the trust of the new direction will not be the human capital development. I also tell you, say there are challenges, but also if you permit me, I will definitely get for talk about the energy, the economy, and all that thing then. But make I just start, if you permit me, on what's not be the trust of waiting we come as a government, waiting the president prioritize. So we prioritize human capital development. What does that mean? It means 3 things. It means say we for make people and get access to education, healthcare, and also make sure say we invest for agriculture, we get for do with food security. Now, you talk about the practical things then. So let me give you the practical things then, quick. So for instance, we'll come, we know say the budgetary allocation will put for education, that'll be 15%. Yeah. We are one of the very few countries in the world where don't increase them above 20%. So now we did 22%. Then what happen? Okay, we know say again, education very important. So we don't increase the learners the way they benefit by free education. So as I speak to you now, something very practical, we get 2.6 million picking there right now with the benefit from free quality education. But you not stop there. Where you go to school feeding a critical component. Because many people in there, or many picking them there, where not they go to school because simply them parents they're not able to provide for them for go get food for going to school. So what we do? As I talk to you now, because of waiting government don't do, we get about 640,000, 645 picking them where they benefit from school feeding. But it not stop there. Because this school feeding also, it exists now 14 out of the 16 big states them. But you know also stop there. It also the benefit 121 chiefdoms out of 192 chiefdoms them. We're very important. It means more people in the rural areas get access to the school feeding and now able go for increase for going to school. But also give you what are practical things there. We don't recruit 5,000 teachers. Yeah? And then we not stop there. When we come, we know say transportation was a big issue for picking them for going to school. We also procure and subsidize 50 buses. But then there are schools them back way where they be there, then they operate, they don't get government support. So what we do? We don't almost get about 3,908 schools that the government don't approve. But then this is important. By the time we come, we also be no say the educational system, the pass rates them back and the schools them back be very low. So what we don't do? I'll give you an instance. Just on the worst papers, they no more. The grade they will get for the with pass or better, we don't increase until 63.6%. And on the same one for credit or better, we don't increase until 41.8%. And I'll give you other simple statistics. By 2017, the amount of candidates there will be the seat was. Now be about 27,699. In 2020, the amount of people picking the way the seat was will be increased to 139,206. In 2022, that will increase. So, in essence, what are these are practical things there. We don't build more schools around the country and also make sure say people can get access.
Make I take you back to your early statement where you say when the government or the SLPPB they prepare manifesto for takeover power, then being prepared as something we then think forward, say nothing no get for change. We mean say the manifesto no get vision at all.
No, it get vision. But
are you not going to envisage challenges in the administration?
Now I say there are unforeseen circumstances.
But
so
when
we
you put something together, where you need to get control over, if you think about unforeseen circumstances.
But then where you the bill you Usna, yeah, you know go ever think say probably in the next 1 year you use the bond. Yeah, unforeseen circumstances. So it means say things them don't happen when no they within you control. Yeah. So COVID-19, you know they within we control because it affects the whole world. Yeah. The war in Ukraine and Russia, you know, they within salon control.
Mr. Sandy, then two things here where they try for shift the blame on, say, Nadande they don't unbog presidents, but you know, for do some of the things the way they inside the social contracts. And things the way just happen along the way. And presidents, be on one president way after immediately they announce and say he win 2018 election. In first thing we say to Sierra Leone and them now that it hit the ground running. So waiting up with that statement.
No, we hit the ground running. So I give you simple instance how we affect we. Yeah, let's go first by the economy. We be say we'll come with the embark on domestic revenue mobilization for increased revenue. So by 2017 we'll come we be get 12.3% of the GDP or they collect where them be they collect per revenue. By 2018 we increased that to 13.7%. By 2019 we increased the revenue where they collect by 14.8%. But then when the COVID came 2019, we go back to 13.8%. So it means say what they tell you say COVID affect we, it affects we in a way where we be the make a trajectory. So we be the increase with revenue we be the collect, you know, by 1 percentage point of GDP every year. But as COVID come, we reduce them back. So these are things that were very important. But then if you permit me, Musa, it go also find make I just run through because these are the say what are the practical things that we don't do.
So let's conclude on this Ukraine and the COVID-19 and you've been drawing analogy say things then very difficult in other parts of the world. But during this COVID-19 and also during this period of Ukraine war, we get mega projects them where they happen in other countries. Them like Ghana, for instance, at the present get 2 railway projects in a very big project. And front me like I see like 5-6 projects them with Ghana they undergoing a mega project them despite COVID-19 and Russia war. Why if all down Salo?
No, all we down, no, Musa. I never say all we down. I say it don't affect the way how for deliver on things them. Yeah. Now I make simple example, to instance, on revenue. Yeah. Because even when COVID day, we get Suma at the camp because you make reference to Ghana. You say companies and then we do work. So we even get, as I talk to you now, say, even when COVID day, we get Suma group of companies. They can't invest, they don't invest as alone 270 million for waiting for giving new airport. Na Lungi. This na mega project, na big project, and it's very important. But also stop there. We also realize say, even though we don't get COVID, but yes, in the private sector, we don't get companies that we don't come. So I'll give you a few instances because you make reference to companies that we don't go operate inside Ghana and waiting. We don't
talk about mega projects.
Yes,
now other countries them wait during this time of COVID-19 and Ukraine war.
Yes, now they say. I don't make example to you on waiting the app in as we speak to you. Nalungi, 270 million mega projects for a brand new airport Nalungi. But also we don't get lots of companies them back where don't they operate and we don't begin operate. So for instance, I go take now the private sector. In the private sector, we get for instance Jolax, we're a manufacturing company. We get the Sierra Leone flour mill. We get APP, where don't come during this COVID, where obviously we not say they don't come at the petroleum sector now, where they don't begin produce this now COVID, they don't come. We also get Duraplast, but even beyond that, we also get companies them back where they don't operate very well in the mining sector. Who don't come, and then it's very important.
As they look for them company them among the people them. I'll ask you, what you go make up of President Bio in work in the last full year? If you put it into percentage, how you can percent them?
At the percent excellently, yeah, because there are challenges, no doubt. Okay,
any figure?
Because you want to tell me say,
figure?
I will give you around 85%. Yeah,
achievement of manifesto promise.
Yes, because there are challenges. Let me I tell you say, we'll come. We get the trust of what we don't do. With human capital development. So Abuanguna a field of what we don't do, but also tell us say back, there are things that we don't do where they are not part of the human capital development, like in the fight against corruption, for instance, in private sector investment. So I'll be just even give you an example in the mining sector.
We go come at them side and they Mr. Sandy, but I still believe say if we try for talk about practical things them where people and they see. During President Bio in campaign messages them, he promised a lot of things them to Salone people. And during the ten in the whiles he be the na the opposition, certain things then the way President Bio be they come out boldly and criticize and say if maybe President I thinks them way I go really look at. One, it gets for do with the lot of overseas traveling then ten in the where President Bio be they condemn and immediately he be president. One thing where Salone people and be they so they grumble for na the Boku travel way President Bio they travel according to Ram he say they go rebrand Salone name na the international community and he even at one point tell Salone people they say he go continue for fly with all their fly there. So waiting at this rebranding where President Bio don't rebrand Salone image.
Well, it don't do boku thing, yeah. Normally, okay, I go tell you. So for instance, when we come, we will not say we continue we branding be very difficult because anytime we talk about Salone, then we say Ebola, then we say corruption and all that kind of thing in there. But we don't come in the first place. We realize say by the time they come, they don't have confidence. We don't lost na Salone. So IMF, World Bank, and all the institutions will be the good money. They all be don't left before elections. So the first thing we do now for make sure say we restore international financial credibility to Salone. So as I speak to you now, IMF, World Bank, in fact, World Bank just recently then go launch a program in the States also about $60 million where they just invest in maternal and child health care in Salone.
So this all happened because President Bio they fly a lot.
No. So this I tell you say in the first place, President Bio wants to make we restore international finance stations. Because when they travel, for instance, I'll give you instance. When you go to America, they go meet with the IMF and president. They go meet with the World Bank, the head. They go meet with institutions there. Where did they see us in a serious man? You not go to that one day just by way the salon.
Now that make I ask you if all them things there happen because the president they fly a lot for go other country there.
No, yes, it happened because presidents they fly their way very meaningful.
Okay.
So president the gap no more. He say he just want go na let's say for instance Morocco just because he want go relax. No, he they go na place their way. He no say forget return to Sierra Leone. Okay. So recently, in fact, president go Vietnam.
They can talk about
exactly.
That
so there are things that the president do were really tangible.
Ina Yusuf Keke Thomas Sandy, we they come now for continue for look at President BOA achievements them inside 4 years. Earlier before we they look at the issue we get for do this university, we they talk about the frequent traveling them where the president can make, and according to the president, Yusuf confirm and say the president they travel for go rebrand the image of the nation. So if we they talk about rebranding, what thing happen with the issue where the audit report capture where it gets for do with forging of receipts and other things them double dipping where happen from the presidency? If we talk about rebranding a nation, these are some of the things that were not supposed for happen at the country.
Well, those are separate issues actually. Now, all the the audit report is subject, obviously, they go through investigation by the ACC and also Parliament. And therefore, obviously, I mean, as a lawyer, they are sub judice and therefore no comments on them. But they are two separate things. Now, like you say, president, they travel. They travel because of a reason. They travel because they want to make sure, say, there are certain things that way you get for do as president. And one of which now for make sure, say, for let any country take you serious, or for let any other international organization take you serious, then therefore talk to the person where they give the leadership in the country. And that is very important. So I make reference to the issue of who can go to America, talk to people in the World Bank, the IMF, big institutions. And also there are times, for instance, where you go to, let's go to America. So we'll go to America now, we get a meeting with the Vietnamese president. And the Vietnamese president was so impressed with what President Bill don't do. Now he say, okay, he say, can pay a visit to my country, so we go share experience and knowledge. And the reason what we got important are the fact say Vietnam na country self where we don't get war. So we get similar story, we get similar history. But now, as a country where then be the import race, now get the export race. So the question is, why all of a sudden Vietnam don't transform? So what we can able learn from that one day, you know. But DJ talks on very important. He say the practical things there. And I really want to go through the practical things then. You know, quick.
Waiting at some of them practical things.
Okay, so now go to healthcare. Now go to healthcare. Musa, just give me that time there.
Quick one, before we come to the practical things, I want to take you to one of his statements that we make earlier. We say, according to your assessments, President Bill don't achieve 85% of a manifesto promised them. But inside one video, President Bill say he don't achieve from A to Z and he just give bonus now. Within these two statements, who's on he thinks the people for take?
Well, obviously, the president. Now, when the president say we don't achieve A to Z, that means say we don't achieve excellent. Now, there are challenges. So, for instance, so hold on for me. So, there are challenges. So, for instance, I could tell you, say, we say within the first 100 days, the asset declaration, what they do, we go make them public. I want to give the practical things.
So you mean people not for take you on 85% at all?
No, the point I make is whether you get 85% or president say A to Z, we have done excellent. And that is the important thing. Okay? And therefore, again, we don't do extra things then back when a bonus like the presidency. So for instance, I tell you just not say we not ever promise we get new airport. We can't get new airport. We never promise we go able to pass MCC for developing compact. We don't pass MC for developing compact. You understand? So there are many things that we don't do. But the practical things then, DJ. On healthcare, we meet the health budget at 6%, 2018. Now we don't increase until 11.6%. It's very important. And also, we don't increase the number of health facilities then from 1,397 in 2019 to 1,569. We not stop there. We don't also make sure we don't recruit 4,000 health workers. But we're not just left them so. Because when you recruit, they want to make sure, say, they want the way they in existence, make you do something, make you able to improve their condition of service. So what you don't do? From the healthcare side, we don't also make sure, say, they want the way they, by the healthcare, we don't improve the allowances. So we don't improve the hazard allowance, location allowance, the on-call ambulance allowance. All we don't do. We don't even give them do bonus. We give them health insurance. That is very practical. And also the national ambulance service. So I can tell you now, say, we don't save about over 40,000 people save their life because of the ambulance service, because they work effectively. And also, we get cervical cancer screening. We don't roll out to 8 facilities. I will name them for you. They're very practical. Bo Regional Hospital, Makini Regional Hospital, PCMH, Joy Hospital, Kiama Road, Moritown CHE, Ogufam CHE. So these are practical things we don't do. They will not stop there. We also make sure, so you talk about the issue about energy, access to energy. Access to energy is very important. I go also tell you, say, since we come, we don't make sure, say, we meet energy access at 15%. We don't increase them between 30 to 31%. But the problem where we get to energy, because people feel, say, we all the free tongue. Because you don't get better light than free tongue, you always feel, say, free tongue as alone. But we don't do so well as a government across the country.
But Mr. Keketoma, Freetown where they talk about, say, access to energy in one of the places that where people they complain. Freetown before President Bio take up office 2018. Now one side maybe they get constant electricity. So if now people they get blackouts na Freetown, you not think say now the people they right for complaints say why we know they get light again? We don't use to 24 hours light?
No. And the people they right for complain about everything. Because this is not democracy. If you not get light, you want light. Now you right, you forget light. If obviously you gonna market, you know, so the food price don't go up, of course now you right for talk. But the problem is, or the challenge is that government responsibility now for make sure say we make sure say you get access to the lights there.
So why government not able to sustain the 24-hour electricity now free to all the talk about?
Because it involve a lot of things we will explain about, okay? But I just want to say we don't increase access to electricity across the country, okay? So I will give practical instance before I come to Freetown. So for instance, Bo and Kenema now we don't connect that to the CLSG. So they are connected and get like 24 hours. They are part of Sierra Leone. We also don't make sure say we they try to get the electrification of 7 districts across Sierra Leone. So Cambia, Kabala, Moyamba, Pujo, Bomb, we try to electrify them. We also they make sure say under the rural renewable energy projects, we don't electrify 98 communities. And these communities, some of them include Foredugu, Moyamba Junction, Malchaka, Madina, Jojema. Okay, now upon Freetown. What's in that been a Freetown? Freetown will come, will make sure say, you understand, up till this point, we will get appreciable amounts of light. But then we get 2 fundamental problems with that in Freetown. One, we get network constraint, and we also get issue with the car power. These are not
waiting up on the car power.
Okay, so the car power obviously then get challenges in terms of the machine them. Where did they go through for make them service the machine them, and because they service the machine them significantly, it don't come drop in terms of the light. But then this light, now you also make sure say now like where you get mana.
Mr. Sandy, you are aware say not on today the car power ship there, and not on now Sierra Leone and they don't begin yearly from the car power ship. Whenever they want to go through maintenance, then they come out to the public, explain through EDSA, say we they go through maintenance. But this BNTM, the blackout within a Freetown, is different from the 10 the way the car power ship they go through maintenance. Is there something where the government they hide in terms of arrangement where they don't let the people they know?
There is nothing. And I'm glad the way you say this BNTM, because before now, like I tell you, we don't get frequent light in the Western area. Now like for instance, DJ, you get mana house. This man at us, now they feed you, don't feed you, say. But then the man they work where they feed you. But then now this man in workplace, let's say the man don't get problem, and they suspend the man for make it go without salary. Then during this period where the man they without salary, the man no they give you money like I they give you money. But you not go say this man bad though, because if you sabi all bell full, this not be the same man where they feed you where you get this full-time job. But now it is on suspension, so therefore it don't affect the income where they give the money. So you they make sure say after you don't come up with this suspension, you go back, this person go able to give you this kind of money what you need. But then the challenges in our Western area are 2, like I say. Network constraint and also with the servicing of the car power. Now, what thing government don't do, because this is the important thing. Now, government don't make sure say there is a project where they go on for expand the network in our Western area. So this project, part of the component now that we got to construct 5 new substations now Aberdeen, Falcon Bridge, Kleintown, Jue, and Waterloo. And with the accompany we dey accompany this for make sure say we get overhead lines them where they get 3 times the capacity than the lines they will get now. So what do you mean? So it means say if cable run from Aberdeen all the way to Waterloo, that cable, the amount of light where it take, it go more than waiting they exist now. So as a government, we understand, we know say it's a challenge, we also make sure say we recognize, but then now people are right for make them make sure say we know. As a government, say this the one of them. But we take steps them for we make sure say we ameliorate them problem there.
We go out and get from the public as to what exactly they make up President Bill in 4 years in office.
This when I young brother from our chiefdom. What me dogs have during the takeover of the president of Sierra Leone, or now we own Excellency Julius Maada Bio. Actually in don't try to in own self satisfaction in try to me own side, because at the end of the day you not go take a government from 200,000 of bag of rice becoming at that na my own problem right now. If I dey try for talk about anything way they pay me right now, na the survival of a human. Just imagine 200,000 leones bag of rice by then way intake power now is 420 or 30,000 leones, 40,000 leones. Just imagine how you go expect Sierra Leoneans for survive and live under this kind of circumstances. My own advice and my own contribution, I just want make the pal look sorry for we. Make it put things in place. Actually the system of governance just don't go out of hand. We pray that the president go see and go put things in place in order from low self the low and the under go able for survive. Now this na my own contribution. Stay blessed and God bless you all, yeah.
So meanwhile sit down here, then our chief down Thailand district. From 6 women that build up can the power. He not do something way go make a graduate over self. See? Because all way don't can the power, all things don't make it don't make we don't fall up with ourselves. Because even the life it don't give a wealth. You say the country nine wealth they be nine wealth they before. Nine they control. It don't make other country that they laugh with inside salon. You see? So how this thing go be? So the rest all don't go up. How this thing go be? Before every this free education we count them, before it be count the free education, if you better self like count the chop will eat. Let left that boss there or let left that free education, but free education no if the teacher there or they grumble. So this free education will be picking a go school, they pay the school fee because the money will give per that homework there. It pay the school fee. See?
Me na Kwenedugu and born Sierra Leonean. I did na Kwenedugu district Kabbalah. Na the worst president ever Salondo ever pulled in this country. Well, me I born 1978. Number one, from where this country day when me come out as a citizen of this country, Sierra Leone, Guinea money no ever pass me money. That's number one. Now only Maada Bio in government 4 years Guinea money don't pass Salo money. That's number one. Number two, the thing the way they happen in this country, it's too much. Then the president just they put tax on people then. It's not easy. Right now, it's not easy for everybody. Don't go one send and just not say to Russia, Ukraine. No, without that they say, they see no better thing where if you say you go get hope for even next year. Not for even vote for them. Then anybody who vote for them. Then they vote for them because something na SLPP say me na SLPP. But real mortal man, where they think about in comping mortal man, we get a humanitarian feeling. For even the SLPP, no vote for SLPP. Now the only thing that they want me to talk because. This you don't clear show say this particular government we not say fina Tijanka ba your SLPP but this power government ever better in this country.
We still get Yusuf Keketoma Sandy with we in the studio. We continue for look at President Bill in 4 years in office. We don't talk about different things. Then we get for with energy, human capital, education, and earlier the Vox Pop they do try for sound the mind of Sierra Leone and them when are the people who been vote President Bill in and now the people them where they benefit from some of the projects and we according to you President Bill don't do. You don't listen to them Vox Pop then they. What you get for say about that?
Well, in the first place, I think I don't know how una identify them people in there, and then I don't know on which basis una interview them because I go equally tell you say you go also interview other people in back way, go tell you boku thing about this government in terms of we think they don't benefit from the education, the healthcare, the progressive reforms they would don't make in this country. You could talk to journalists, the way go tell you say obviously because we don't repeal the 55-year criminal libel, now a good thing we don't do. So I think say Vox Pop it depends on who I talk to, and so, I don't know how una pick them people.
So basically,
but the important thing is this. Let me make this way very important. Now we are a democracy, yeah, and we believe say the voice of the people matter, and we know say also we respect people's opinion. As a government, we committed very fully for make sure say we do things that really improve people's lives. Like I said, there are challenges. And these challenges are challenges them where we defeat head on. So for instance, I'll give you an instance.
So quick one on the Vox Pop. You make mention about the selection. And the people we talk now that Vox Pop now from the provincial areas, you make mention of electricity, transformation, then people are concerned na team for it. And team for it now the your major concern and the rest price. What in a government can take on then concerning so especially team for it.
Okay. So let me tell you say I don't know how to select them because me say I can go to Makeni, I select somebody, we go tell you 20 hours to good team of government.
Mr. Sani,
okay?
don't forget about the
exactly.
selection.
So make we not go to down
Lord,
exactly.
Just speak on the issue.
So on the issues, I'll talk about the economy, right? Now, obviously, we not can meet this. 2018 will take over. We not can meet this economy buoyantly. Oh, the economy be there in coma. You understand? Now, like I say, I make reference to what I talk about an example of revenue increase, domestic revenue mobilization. That's what will start. Everything will go well. So we don't increase 1 percentage point of the revenue every year on until 2019, where the COVID can affect we. But then access to food. Access to food means two things. It means say in the first place, we get to forget the availability of food in the market. We're different from the affordability of the food. And also, it also means say government therefore invest in agriculture. So I go deal with them two things there. So firstly, availability of food. Now, there are countries all over the world, like a couple of months ago, you see, say, some parts in the UK, you go to supermarkets the way, not getting a shelf, we're not getting no food on shelf. Okay? We have been able as a government to make sure, say, we get food the way available at the market. Yes, the price them don't go up because, like I say, freight price don't they, the shipment, and but even with that, what government don't do? Because of Soviet government, we don't reduce. In fact, we don't put until zero. We don't get no tax per rice, no tax per flour.
To the area of the economy where you just make mention of, where President Bill take over, the way it meets the economy. Now, quickly, Lord, just like you breakdown of the exchange rates when a part of the economy. The exchange rate as of 19 and the way President Bill take over in 2018, now being 7,500 to $1.
Yep.
And then the everybody be hearing the statement the way the president be make as to how it meet a battered economy. And from then the previous regime been take the dollar to 3,000 in 2007. We mean say increase happen when a 4,500 in 11 years. Okay. And now in 4 years, dollar don't increase to 13,300. We mean say a 5,800 just in 4 years.
Because I start early two premises. I tell you say 2018 we will launch the manifesto. We launch them on the basis of a simple economic principle. We mean say ceteris paribus. We mean say everything for operates equal with no variables. We for affect them. But then from 2018 to now, we don't get two important things that will affect you. COVID-19 and Ukraine and the war in Russia and in Ukraine between Russia and Ukraine. The reason why they're important now, the fact say it don't affect all over the world. So not just alone. So I don't tell you say in the US for instance, cost of living don't increase on 40-year high. In the UK, cost of living don't increase on 30-year high. I can't musala it. I also tell you say in Canada, cost of living don't increase 30-year highs. Okay, these are all comparatives that you go make. So Salono isolated. Okay, but the thing what I'm saying is that waiting government don't do for make sure say them prices are ready to go up. We get policies that will be put in place.
But managing the economy, now one way President Bill be lay so much emphasis on during in campaign. So why now you did try for blame it on the war in Ukraine?
No, I want to blame on the war on Ukraine. I tell you say the COVID-19 and the war in Ukraine and Russia don't change the economy of the world. It don't change the way governments they relate to other governments them. The way donors they relate to government. It don't affect the way domestic revenue mobilization they go. It don't affect many things them. So people like even talks about wage increase, payroll, okay? We also something back where governments care about. But I can even give you a list of things the way government don't spend just on that one day.
Before you give a list of them things, then I just ask you, what do happen to the most famous word when are the bread and butter issue? When one of the key campaign messages then in 2018 of President Bill say it will fix the issues of bread and butter. And now we they see the opposite they happen. People then they grumble. Just listen to the vox pop. People then say they're angry. Prices of tin and for it just they go up na the market.
Yes, it go up. I don't tell you say because there are factors that really outside government control, or the outside president being control. Okay, and then factors I don't talk about them. So every time you ask me, I talk about the factors and they. Now the question is, what in government they do? I don't tell you say, for make sure say there are countries them they where I don't give reference to in the UK. There was a time where you go to supermarket, you don't even get food on a shelf. But what we don't do over this period now for the fact say we don't make sure say food availability there. So government as a matter of policy, there was a point in time where we even give 500 million loans to importers them for import food. And even beyond that, we'll make sure say that government get what they call Sierra Leone Produce Marketing Board companies. The Sierra Leone Produce Marketing companies them, they don't open shops them around this country, the regional headquarters towns. They Makeni, they Pujo, they different side there. Which in them shops that they do? Then shops then they sell essential commodities like rice and oil them at reduced price. So it means say you can go to that shop then you get the bag of rice at reduced price. But also even in terms of taxes, government don't pull tax per rice and per flour, and for sure say government is serious and know what they do.
So you compare salon situation to UK and USA. Somebody go like for ask what in the minimum wage na US and UK and salon, and what in the living condition?
No, so the minimum wage definitely is higher than country as up salon. But the important thing is, now I come, you ask a question, I answer. But the important thing is the cost of living or prices going up. Not to salon where they affect. It affect other countries there. I only make reference to US for tell you say in the United States of America, the way how the cost of living don't go up, it don't go up on a 40 year. It don't mean say for the past 40 years now America price not go up it. UK for the past 30 years price not go up it. Canada for the past 30 years price not go up it. But waiting our focus on now waiting governments they do for make sure say we ameliorate the suffering. I go give you other simple example. Law even go past salary increment. We're very important because we know say definitely as prices they go up, government self get for make sure say we increase people and salary them. So 2018 we do 10% salary increase for civil servant them between grade 1 to grade 6. 2020 we do 30% increment for teacher and salary. 2021 we do 25% increment salaries for security sector. 2021 again we do 50% increment for staff already ONS and SISU. 2022 this year we don't do 25% increment in salaries for security sector. Then we got our plan for next year 25%. The teachers them, the university lecturers them, we don't do 50% increment for their salary. These are all things the way government only do for make sure say we try to get people in disposable income that they earn. Yes, you go ask questions say, but despite increments they go on, but then the price of living back they go up. As a government, we they try as much as we can for make sure say anything where they affect price of living, we government will try for make sure.
We talk about President Bill in 4 years in governance, and we talk about a war. We now a 1 month war. Somebody go argue say you no go inch or you no go inch the success or the governance of Salon on Ukraine war. We are just 1 month old. We are one of the factors them we they mention as one of the concerns them we people raise about the Tranganes and Tinode for it.
No, I not equate the suffering to the war. I tell you say COVID-19 and the war in Ukraine don't affect the way our government they run the economy, the way our government for implement things from the manifesto. I give example say come just for example on domestic revenue mobilization. We start by 2017, where to meet na 12.3% na MBD as to the GDP. In 2018, we increased it to 13.7%. 2019, we increased it to 14.8%. So it means from 2017 to 2019, we get 2 percentage points will increase to domestic revenue. Right. But 2019, because of the COVID, then they get affected. We reduce back to 13.8% in 2020. Right. So it means these are real things. We don't affect the way the economy they run and also the way things happen. But I just touch on it quick. The important thing is this. Last week, President all meeting with people in the private sector. Okay, so importers, OMCs, traders, them boku. In that meeting, what be important? In that meeting, they also appreciate President don't do boku thing them for support the business community, for support the business sector. Yes, there are challenges. For instance, on taxes with the ECR machine.
But are the same business people who see them begin on strike, lock them, shop them, they complain about high taxes?
Yes, now they say. They also say there are challenges in terms of the machine where they, in terms of other taxes there. Mm-hmm. But the important thing is this, that you get a president we're caring and we're concerned for call everybody for consider and say, okay, what are these challenges and how can we address them? And I think it's very important.
We did talk about the hardship and save the cost of things them for it. We really they go up. About 3 years, Usiusai President B.O.B. launched the Tomabom project for reduced food insufficiency. 3 years later, the president go to Vietnam for go do a study tour on rice production. How long it will take the president for harvest the Tomabom rice 3 years ago?
Well, it got to take a while because remember, I said there is no quick fix to these things. Okay, even because I want to give statistics because now the facts they only talk about. So just on even agriculture, we meet the budgetary allocation to agriculture 3.7%. In fact, of that 3.7%, the donors then be they care about 2%. So it means that government in actual spending was little over 1%. What we do? We don't commit to 6%. Now, because of what we don't do in the agricultural sector, I'll give you simple things then. We don't protract about 600 tractors, 200 power tillers. We don't make sure so we don't cultivate about 2,500 hectares. Indeed, there is something they call rice self-sufficiency metric. We don't increase with performance on the rice the way we produce. So, for instance, in 2019, it be there 45%. Now, we did 57.7%. So, in 2020 alone, we produced about 637,000 metric tons of milled rice.
Mr. Sani,
but the question is,
I ask you,
our land,
our Tomabom rice project.
No, our land. Attention to the process. Now, because we don't increase the production, the question we go ask logically that the fact say, why we still lay import rice? Why rice still they go? So I'm going to tell you the reason why. It they go because they get what they call preference, okay, with consumption habits as a country. So it means with consumption habits as Sierra Leoneans, we still prefer imported rice for its imported rice, so we rice down at the country rice. So I'll give simple instance, Dija. Well, last eat country rice. Okay?
I still ask you, Mr.
So
Sani, I still ask you 3 years ago, President Bio launched the Tomabom rice project. 3 years now, waiting they happen with the project.
I don't tell you say the project they gone very well. I don't even give you reference.
So it take 3 years for planting and harvesting.
No. I tell you say rest because we don't get increment in the production. Waiting ever we don't do the investment or they make for the taxes
the production of the Tomabom project.
Yes, now they tell you say there is production going on. Now they tell you we don't increase the metric. Now they tell you. I tell you say even 2020 alone we produce
so if
about
production increased on the why not now the presidents they go do study tour on rice production in Vietnam?
No, because I tell you see Vietnam gets similar story to it. Okay, the reason why I go Vietnam are the fact say how did Vietnam transform from an importing country where they import rice to a country where they export rice? So one learn skills, one see what are the mechanisms where they put in place, one see what are the experience where they get in terms of seedlings and other things them. And I'm glad for make I tell you see from this visit we go, we don't get a $20 million project where they can start because of this visit we go. So let me say that something very good. But the point where they make about the fact say now we dey produce more rice, but we still import. The reason being is that we consumption habit.
But because if we dey produce more rice, because the whole idea behind the Tomabom project now for less alone begin grow it to the eat. And according to you, the Tomabon project they gone, they produce more rice. So why still Salon they import rice and the price of rice still they go up, where Salon they produce more rice according to you? Why?
Now that's our answer you. Okay, so give me small time a big. Give me like 3 minutes a big. It simply means say, it simply means say, because we produce more rice and we consumption habit as Salonians, we prefer imported rice. People they buy more imported rice. So one, we need to change with consumption habits, because it means say the rice that they produce now, then they can't go more na Guinea and Liberia. More na Guinea because people that go na Guinea get preference for we rice them past Sierra Leone and them. So if you get your farm, you dey produce rice. Then when they buy rice at Salon, you can't go Guinea. So the cross border trade of the rice is important. So there are 3 things we can do. Okay, one, we get for improve with processing. So the reason we make difference between country rice and rest of the imports, I like polishing. So for begin polish we rest them. All they produce now, make a nice. We rebrand them and make a nice. Let me also make sure say the transport system from the farms to the shops and the markets and back will improve on them. What would they do? Because if person there in farm, if they produce rice, it won't get access to the easy market. We're very important. Then even the marketing.
Right.
Now with the branding and everything fine.
Thank
because
you.
I think say if we do that one day and change with consumption habits. So now we all say, pan the week, we make up our mind say 3 days we dey eat continuous.
All right,
Now
thank you very much.
Continuous, we go begin eating at this continent.
Thank you very much, Yusuf Keke Thomas Sandy, Press Secretary in a State House. So we come to the program this morning, can outline some of President Bio achievements them inside 4 years where he don't be president.